So you step off the plane in Tokyo. The energy is just, it's undeniable. You might be an entrepreneur or a professional on a long-term assignment, and you're just ready to go.
You've got everything lined up. You think you're prepared.
Exactly. The visa's done, the job is sorted. But then you hit a wall you didn't even know was there. What happens when you just don't speak the language?
Well, that's when you encounter what we call hidden friction. It's not the big, obvious stuff. It's the constant low-level bumpiness of just getting through the day.
Right. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We want to map out that friction for you. We're looking at the unexpected hurdles for business travelers, for anyone staying long-term in Tokyo without fluent Japanese.
And we're not just here to talk about the problems. We're digging into practical solutions from our sources, especially for that critical first step, finding a place to live and work.
A reliable, comfortable place so you can hit the ground running.
hmm Because it's so much more than a language barrier. It's about understanding the cultural mechanics, how people communicate, how you see yourself, and even how you rent an apartment.
Okay, let's start there. Let's unpack that communication piece. Our sources all emphasize that Japan is a high-context culture.
hmm
So if I'm coming from a very direct, say, American or European background, what's the first mistake I'm going to make?
You're going to miss the point almost constantly. In a high-context culture, the meaning isn't just in the words. It's in the situation, the body language, the whole atmosphere. You can't just take a direct translation at face value.
So you have to develop a whole new sense, really.
You absolutely do. The skill is called kuki wo yumu. It literally means reading the air. And it's not just a nice-to-have skill, it's a core social and business expectation.
Okay, let's make this practical for someone listening. A classic example is the word choto. It means a little bit. So you're in a meeting, you ask for a tight deadline, and the other person says choto.
Right. And a Westerner might hear, okay, they just need a minute to think about it.
But that's not what it means at all, is it?
Not usually. In that context, choto is almost always a soft no. It's a polite, non-confrontational way of saying, that's going to be very difficult, or maybe even, that's impossible. They're preserving harmony.
But wait, how do you ever get a straight answer then? If everything is about harmony or weight, how do you have those tough, necessary business conversations?
They do happen, but they happen in the nonverbal space. The real negotiation is in the silence, the slight hesitation, a subtle change in topic. If you can't read the air, you could walk out of a meeting thinking you've got a deal when you really don't.
You've completely missed the actual outcome.
That's the real cost right there.
So you basically have to become a detective in your own life. You're constantly looking for clues.
Yes. You're observing everything, like how people are so quiet on trains, or the formal way they exchange business cards, always with two hands.
Mm-hmm. It's all part of this underlying code.
And that code is driven by a concept called omoyari, this deep consideration for others. The goal is to not inconvenience anyone. It's why public spaces are so orderly and quiet. You start to see it everywhere once you know what to look for.
Okay, so you're getting the hang of reading the air. You've been in Tokyo for 6 months, maybe a year, but you're still different. Our sources are really clear on this. You will likely always be seen as a gaijin, a foreigner. How do you deal with that long term?
That's such a critical point for your mental well-being there. The key is not to fight it. Fighting it is just exhausting. It's a cultural label, not necessarily a negative judgment.
So you have to embrace it.
You do. And honestly, it can be a benefit. People will often be more patient with you. They'll forgive you for small cultural mistakes. Accepting the gaijin status is actually a shortcut to feeling more comfortable.
That's a huge mental shift, though,
Yeah.
especially coming from a Western culture that's all about individualism. Speak your mind, be yourself.
It is. Because Japanese culture is built around wa, or group harmony. The collective often comes before the individual. In a business setting, that means decisions can take a lot longer. It's not about speed, it's about getting everyone on board.
So the goal isn't to just assimilate and disappear. It's to develop what our sources call bicultural competence.
Exactly. It's not about losing your identity. It's about learning when to adapt your style, when to prioritize the group, and when it's appropriate to voice your individual opinion. It's a balancing act.
Building a bridge between your own culture and theirs.
That is the perfect way to put it.
And that bridge building often starts with a very, very practical challenge: finding a place to live. Let's shift from the philosophical to the logistics of it all.
Yeah.
The housing hustle.
Oh, this is where that hidden friction becomes very real and very expensive. The entire system is different. You pretty much have to go through a real estate agency.
And the upfront costs are, frankly, they're shocking. It's not just first month's rent and a deposit. Let's talk about key money, or Reikin.
Yes, Reikin. It's a non-refundable gift to the landlord.
A gift. You don't get it back.
You never see it again. It's just a thank you for letting you rent the apartment. And it can be 1, 2, sometimes even 3 months rent.
So hold on, you've got the Reikin, the agent's fee, maybe a cleaning fee, plus a 2-month deposit. You could be paying 6 months rent before you even get the key.
It's a massive financial barrier to entry, for sure.
And then you finally get the key, you open the door, and that's when the second shock hits.
The unfurnished reality. And when we say unfurnished, we mean it.
We mean blank.
Yeah.
Our sources highlight this again and again. You might just have a bare socket in the ceiling, no light fixture.
No curtain rods, no fridge, no washing machine. You are literally starting from scratch.
Which, if you're a busy professional or an entrepreneur, is a complete nightmare. Your first month is just consumed by buying appliances and dealing with deliveries, all with a language barrier.
Your time is money, and that process just burns through it.
This is exactly why there's a better way, especially for corporate teams or anyone on an assignment, say, under 2 years.
This is where solutions like service departments are, frankly, a lifesaver. They're sometimes called monthly mansions.
And the entire value proposition is convenience. You just bypass this whole logistical mess.
Completely. They come fully furnished. All the appliances are there. The internet is on. The kitchen has cookware. You arrive with your suitcase, and you're done. You can focus on your work from day one.
Now, our sources point out they do cost more per month, right? Maybe 30 to 50% more than a standard empty apartment.
They do, but it's a strategic trade-off. You're paying a premium to avoid the massive upfront costs like Reikin, and more importantly, to save weeks of your time and eliminate all that stress. For a business traveler, that's an easy calculation to make.
So you've sorted your housing. You're in a comfortable spot, but you still need to get connected. Let's talk about the digital and social puzzle.
Right, because despite Japan's high-tech image, just getting a phone and a bank account can be surprisingly difficult.
It's the famous catch-22.
Exactly. To get a phone contract, you often need a Japanese bank account.
But to open a bank account, they often want a Japanese phone number. It's a perfect circle of frustration.
So what do? The sources suggest starting with a temporary SIM or pocket Wi-Fi. But for the longer term, the real solution is something called an MVNO.
A mobile virtual network operator.
Yeah, these are smaller carriers. They use the big networks, but their rules for signing up are much simpler. Crucially, they often let you sign up with just your passport and a temporary address. No bank account needed at first.
So that gets you the phone number you need to unlock everything else.
It's the key that breaks the loop.
Okay, digital life sorted. Now for social life. Our sources warn that making friends isn't spontaneous in Japan. It's a slow, structured process.
That's right. You're probably not going to make a lifelong friend just by chatting with someone at a coffee shop. Relationships are built over time through consistent interaction.
Which is why expat networks, like on Meetup, are so important at the start. They give you that immediate support system. Where to find an English-speaking doctor, things like that.
But there's a catch.
The expat trap.
If you only hang out with other foreigners, you stay in this comfortable little bubble, you never really integrate or develop that bicultural competence we were talking about.
So what's the best strategy to break out of that bubble?
Well, the sources overwhelmingly point to 2 things: language exchange partnerships and joining local hobby groups or circles.
A language exchange seems like a perfect win-win.
It is. It gives you a structured reason to meet someone regularly. You help them with English, they help you with Japanese. It's natural, it's consistent, and a real friendship can grow out of it.
And the local circles, joining a hiking club or a tea ceremony group, is the same idea, right? It gives you a shared interest as the basis for connection.
Yes, exactly. It takes the pressure off just talking. You're doing something together, and communication flows more easily from there. It's a fantastic way to practice reading the air in a low-stakes environment.
So let's bring this all together. For the professional who wants to succeed in Tokyo without being fluent, what's the main takeaway here?
I think it's that it is absolutely doable, but you have to accept that reality of of constant low-level friction. You have to learn to rely on observation, on nonverbal cues, and you have to celebrate the small wins.
Like successfully ordering that complex coffee you wanted.
Exactly. The journey really is about developing that bicultural competence. It's not about losing who you are, it's about proactively building a bridge and making smart strategic choices like using an extended stay solution to avoid logistical headaches so you can focus on what really matters.
The conscious effort is what separates the people who just survive from the ones who really thrive.
Absolutely. It's a challenging environment, but an incredibly rewarding one.
So with all that in mind, what small, consistent step like joining a local circle or finding that first language partner will you take first to accelerate your mastery of reading the air of Kukyo Yomu?